Ms. Bhavya Narasimhamurthy. She is AICC National Coordinator Social Media, National Media Fund. Today she is going to address to you regarding the burning issue which is going on, that is the reservation for women. So I think you can straight on the other side, right side of her. As you all know, Captain Virato, on my left, we have a stopper, Manisha Stop. So I would request, ma'am, you can straight away start with what you want to say to me.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to start by thanking the media people of Goa. And thank you, ma'am, thank you, sir, for being here and organizing this for us. We all know about the recent women reservation bill that has been introduced by the BJP government, Narendra Modi government. But when it comes to Congress party, I would like to first tell you all about our commitment, which has been for decades regarding women empowerment and this reservation bill. How this is our brainchild, one, and how many times we have genuinely tried to introduce this bill so that women are represented in those powerful positions on this table of decision making. But today, when Mr. Narendra Modi's government has introduced this bill, there are many obstacles as well. So to begin with the history of women reservation bill, we have given you a copy of our press release. The very first point, Congress introduced this bill in 1989, reservation for women. And guess what? It failed only because major, very powerful leaders of BJP rejected it, and we lost this bill by 7 votes. In 1989, 33% reservation that we have today for local women's, local bodies, local government for women, that was defeated by BJP. Like stalwarts like L.K. Advani ji, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, Yashwant Singh ji, Ram Jethmalani ji, these were the people who voted against it in 1989 from getting reservation in local government to women. So later in 1992, we showed our commitment and we brought about 73rd and 74th Amendment Act, because of which today across India there are 15 lakh women, more than 15 lakh women contesting elections, proving their mettle and taking the women empowerment forward and being the voice of the problems of women in local government. But what about assemblies and parliament? That's the question. If you all know, we introduced a bill to reserve 33% seats in assemblies, state assemblies and legislature and parliament in 2010 under UPA government, when Mr. Manmohan Singh, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji was the Prime Minister and Ms. Sonia Gandhi was the Congress President. Although we passed it in Rajya Sabha, the bill could not move forward because of various reasons, where we did not have the numbers the BJP has today. Otherwise, we would have definitely committed, and today we would have had more than 182 parliamentarians who are women, sitting in that legislature, sitting in that new parliament building that they have built. But later, when Mr. Modi won by a very big majority in 2016 itself, our president, Ms. Sonia Gandhi, had proposed and told Mr. Modi that we will unconditionally support you if you bring this 33% reservation bill, which was also put in their manifesto in 2014. BJP manifesto had 33% reservation bill in it. But still, Mr. Modi didn't even give a thought about this bill. In 2018, Mr. Rahul Gandhi also said we will give unconditional support if this bill is brought to Parliament. In spite of having majority numbers within BJP itself and their partners and Congress giving them unconditional support, today we could have easily, even in 2019, we could have had 182 parliamentarians. But that didn't happen either. And even now, when they bring this bill, we do not see any will or intent to implement this bill. This is just a hogwash to make sure they win this next parliamentary elections. Like all this while their agenda was communal agenda, and now people, they have been exposed in front of people that this communal agenda of theirs will not work. Now they want to use women and play with their emotions, saying they have brought in this reservation. But as a Congress party spokesperson, as a woman, I would like to ask Prime Minister Narendra Modi some questions. What is it that's stopping you from implementing the bill right now, so that in 2024 this comes to fruition and 182 parliamentarians, women parliamentarians, will be sitting in Lok Sabha? There is no logic behind, waiting for the next census to happen and then the delimitation. No matter what, yes, the communities, some communities, the population might increase, or for the delimitation, the boundaries, the constituencies, some constituency might have more population or less population, but what has that got to do with the women reservation? Because women, no matter what, they will be between 48 to 50% anywhere in India. So what's stopping them from immediately implementing this bill? One, what's the whole point of conducting census when we know 50% are women and we are only giving them 33%? Not even 50%. Then why wait for census and delimitation? If we decode this, we can easily say they're only doing this as a hogwash. For example, the delimitation, the census was supposed to happen in 2021, which they did not implement. They did not conduct the census. And if you remember the delimitation, the previous delimitation, it almost took 5 years to submit the report. So today, once 2026, there was an amendment to the Delimitation Act in 2001, according to which, anything before 2026 will not be applicable. So the census will only happen in 2026, and then add 5 years to that, because the previous delimitation committee took 5 years to submit the report. So it's easily 2031. And as we know, when delimitation happens, there will be a lot of states which will have problems with the delimitation because of the population ratio. We all know South Indian states, or most of the states where the population is controlled, population growth is controlled, and most of the North Indian states, the population has been increasing, and this delimitation will have to be accepted by all the states, which won't happen. So it will be dragged until a consensus is met by all the states. So this will only drag the thing, and it will go on up to 2031, or maybe by this time this whole thing is implemented, it might even be 2039. So what's the whole point in bringing this bill today to the parliament and then disappointing women like us who have given so much to the social service, snatching our opportunity and not representing? We all know it's hardly 14%, 12 to 14% women are represented in parliament or even in state assemblies. This bill could have been a revolutionary step. Mr. Modi had a chance to actually bring in this revolution in India and make his mark. But sadly, he's disappointing the whole country. He's disappointing 50% of its population, because countries that cannot capitalize on one half of its human resource will only undermine its competitive potential. Women need to be on those tables. And one more point is about caste census. The last caste census was done by UK government, as you all know. Why is Mr. Modi backtracking from that? And why not give women reservation within OBC as well? That's the point. Social justice is about intersectionality. Whether it is caste, whether it is gender, whether it is geography, whether it is social status, whether it is economic status, everybody deserves to be represented in a parliament or in state assembly. Every woman's voice, every community women's voice should be represented there. Then why not this proportional representation for OBCs? What's stopping them? Why not do a caste census, and accordingly, now that you have anyways postponed women reservation, and now that you want to do census and then delimitation, why not caste census? This is another request we as a Congress party have kept in front of Mr. Modi. One, to implement this immediately. Two, to conduct this caste census. Give OBC women also their due representation in this election, the coming election 2024. BJP had women reservation bill in their manifesto in 2014 itself. So 9.5 years. What stopped Mr. Modi from bringing this particular bill to Parliament? Because they had numbers. They had numbers in their hand. It was just the will which was missing. If he had brought in this bill back then, by now I'm sure there would have been, like I said, 182 women there. Now let's come back to the BJP parliamentarians and their views about this bill. You all know there is an MP in Bengaluru South, Mr. Tejasvi Surya, and his tweet, where he had tweeted saying, "Dread the day when this women reservation bill becomes a reality." That was his tweet. This is the thinking, this is their mindset, BJP MP's mindset. Even Amit Malviya, they have all deleted their tweets, but I'm sure it's all in their archives, where they are totally against this. So this is in the history of BJP. Back then, LK Advani ji, Vajpayee ji, Yashwant Singh ji, Ram Jethmalani ji, all of them rejected, and even today's young BJP MPs have rejected. And we all know about what happened in Goa under BJP rule. A woman MLA, a female MLA, I do not remember the name, ma'am. Is this Alina? Yes. And she was asked to shut up by the then BJP chief minister. If this is the way BJP MPs and MLAs and even the chief minister treats women, you really think BJP has the will to implement this? No. They just want to use this as an election gimmick. And what recently Mr. Amit Shah, in his parliamentary speech, he says, what if Wayanad becomes a reserved seat for women? So wait until delimitation and census. That's how he tried to mock our leader, Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gandhi today, Mr. Rahul Gandhi today, after his Bharat Jodo, has won hearts of billion people across India, starting from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Today, wherever he chooses to stand for elections, I'm sure he will win. And if I honestly believe this is so low to his rank of a home minister to make such a statement, instead of being sensitive towards women's cause and calling the Congress for a discussion on the table, he just wants to mock the opposition leaders. This is their attitude. This is their seriousness about women bill. The country need to see that BJP has no will to implement this bill. They just want the name, just like any other bill. If they can implement 370 abrogation immediately, if they can implement triple talaq immediately, why not this bill? What's stopping them? There are many bills. Look at us. We have also brought in a very revolutionary bills. Take for example local government, where we have reserved a thing for women. We have reservation for women. That came into effect immediately. Think about LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. That was such a revolutionary step, such a bold step. And back then, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was the then Prime Finance Minister, he had told a statement which said, "Nothing can stop an idea whose time has come." I don't think this idea and its time has come yet, because Mr. Modi, in spite of having numbers, does not have the willpower to implement this bill. This is our message as a Congress party woman, as an Indian woman. I'm really disappointed because we had high hopes. We had high hopes because they put the same thing in 2 of their manifestos and still did not implement this. Thank you.
Yeah, one question for you.
Yes, sir.
There is a series on a reservation policy by Constitution till 2026.
Yes.
Okay. So until then, this cannot be implemented. What do you want to say on that?
Exactly my point. If that was the case, why did they bring the bill? If they have no intent to sort that issue, why did they bring the bill? This is just, it is just so obvious that they are using this for a 2024 elections, parliamentary elections. Otherwise, they have no willpower to implement this. But they should have concentrated.
But you are demanding that it should be implemented immediately.
Yes.
So you have any idea how to implement it?
If he had implemented this in 2014, I'm sure by now it would have been sorted.
Yeah, that is past now.
Yeah.
now how in future how you can implement? What is your idea now to implement it?
Yeah, of course. This time when we come into power, we have India Alliance, which is going really strong, and I'm sure we will form the government in 2024.
You have a chance now.
Yeah, we will, because this has been on our agenda for a very long time. We will do, definitely, because as an opposition leader, Mr. Gandhi said, even Ms. Gandhi said, they will give unconditional support.
See, the entire credit cannot be given to Modi Sarkar because you have to pass the bill in both houses of parliament. And this bill was passed in the Rajya Sabha on 9th March 2010 when Shri Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister. They could not take it through the Lok Sabha because of the sheer lack of numbers.